All right, let's rock and roll, right? I wish we can do this in person and have actual coffee, but I think the picture will suffice me in time between time, right? Um, okay, my name is Jeremy Bizzle. I am a part-time academic advisor here at Triton College, as well as an adjunct instructor, and I'm also joined by Dorota. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Dorota Krzykowska, and I'm one of the full-time academic advisors.
Fantastic. I'm also able to like navigate the slides, right?
Can you try?
Let me see.
There you go.
All right, can you guys see slide two? Fantastic. Great. So just to get things started on the right foot, just give you guys a brief overview of exactly what the advising department is. So the advising department consists of 4 full-time and 7 part-time staff members, including myself, who assist students based on their educational programs. I remember starting back in 2018 as a part-time academic advisor. There were actually only 7 of us at one point, which were like 4 full-time and 3 part-timers. But now we have more people join us since then. So now we went from 7 to 11, 7-Eleven. So now we have more staff who will help meet the demands of students who need the necessary help to make sure that they continue their college journey along with us on the right path. In addition to that, for students who need any assistance with anything, whether it's academic planning, course selection, like some of the students right now are still trying to get registered for 7-week courses, registration, or just need to have any of their questions answered, can definitely see us in our department. So due to recent events with COVID-19, our current appointments will only be held virtually. So this will include meetups as well as Zoom, depending on the preference of the student, as well as real-time email and phone conversations. So in our PowerPoint, it says to see the full list of the staff from the advising department. You can click that link there, or I would like to direct you guys to visit the advising page on the Triton College website, and you would get to see all of our lovely faces and the programs in which we assist students um, there. Slide. Next slide. Can everybody see the third slide? Great. Okay. Let's see. Great. So what does it take to be an advisor and what is our actually what's our role? So as an academic advisor, we work to create collaborative relationships with students and ourselves. This is the intent of collaborations to assist students in developing meaningful educational goals that consist with their personal and professional interests. So this involves having those one-to-one conversations. It's one thing to say, hey, here's some classes, go to class, but we want to know exactly what are a student's plans while in Triton and outside of Triton as well. So we definitely want to make sure that we mold everything to their liking and to their personal goals as well. Advisors also assist students in progressing toward their appropriate degree or certificate and helps the students utilize the extensive network of academic support services available on campus. Academic advisors provide an academic assistance and individualized attention to promote each student's success here at Triton College. So again, this goes back to as simple as creating an academic plan. As a former alumni of Triton myself, I'm surprised I made it through Triton without an academic plan. But it's one of those things where I came back to make sure that I want to make sure that students who are now in my school get the necessary help and resources that they need, the same resources that I wish I had as a student to make sure that they're better prepared for what's to come in their journey. Everybody can see slide 4, okay?
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. Um, so we're more than just, advisors. For some, we become that main point of go-to for any question or anything or any type of concern that they may have while on campus. So this falls into our welcoming care. So it is important that we make sure we treat the students with respect and provide them with a sense of belonging, right? If you're a Triton Trojan, we want to make sure that you feel like you're a Triton Trojan. To feel comfortable and treated fairly, we'll always come back. Um, I'm pretty sure there's times in college that we can go and we can recall that, hey, let's see number 472 or student 472. So being um, called out as a number doesn't really make you feel like you belong. It makes you feel just that, like you're another number. But here at Triton, in our advising department, we make sure that we address students by name because they do feel a bit more humanized in that regard. Um, and we just make sure that we speak to them as if they've been here for years, as opposed to for some students it can be their first semester, so they can we create that comfortable environment. Um, However, though we want their experience to be a pleasant one, we also want to mold students to become a bit more independent and become prepared for when they transfer to a four-year institution to go to the workforce. So our main goal, I remember when I first started back in 2018, our original services were more dedicated to students who were between 0 to 32 credits, and then at that point they will make the transition over to counseling that will help them finish up. So the difference now is we service all students from 0 to their 60 credit hours in total. So in addition to helping them creating academic plans, understanding where they can find certain resources to help them along their way, we kind of show them the way in a bit. That way, when they do make transition to a four-year institute or go straight to the workforce, they kind of have like the idea of how to ask for certain things and for certain resources. That way they can utilize that to the best of their ability. Did slide 5 appear for everybody? Or is it still loading?
I can see it.
Yes.
Fantastic. Great. So one of the main topics that came up as of late has been retention. So our overall goal is to get students to stay and to complete their academic journey along with us. Now, there's a lot of things that can contribute to that. It could be something as um, mentioned like financial aid, or they may have some personal things that's going on that contribute to the drop in retention. But our goal now is to make sure that we get those students to start and to finish. Um, so right now, one of the things that we just introduced not too long ago is the Standards of Academic Progress, or abbreviated as SOAP, right? So just in case you forget. Um, so advisors help students understand the academic standards and the importance of the satisfactory of their progress. And in addition to that, we also reinforce academic support resources and assist students with creating an achievable plan towards good academic standings. So when it comes to the standards of academic progress, it actually falls into 4 different categories. So there's academic warning, which is kind of like how we check up with students, whether it's an issue with the GPA, or they may have too many withdrawals on their record, and we want to make sure that we meet with them to make sure that everything's okay and to plan out courses to make sure that they can do better along their journey. After warning comes probation. So probation, students can still register for classes, but they will be limited to how many classes they can register. They can only register up to 12 credits. Um, in some cases, depending on the student's background, we may recommend probably less just to make sure that they are on a good path to bring their GPA and their academic standing up. After that, then they were also going to academic suspension, where they would have to take either a spring or fall semester off, kind of like recollect themselves and then come back once they feel that they're ready. And last but not least, which we want no student to fall into, which will be dismissal, have to take an academic year off and then come back and then start back up from where they left off. So that's how our standards of academic progress works in that regard. Um, so as far as with the actual retention alerts, we've been doing a lot more of that recently as well. Advisors are now part of the early alert effort to assist faculty in student concerns. So we've been reaching out to students who may have issue like logging into a particular Zoom class, or if they're not performing. So how do we make sure we reach out to them to see if there's anything that we can offer in addition to the available resources to make sure that they get back on track. And in addition to that, we also do student outreach. So advisors contact non-returning students who have not registered for classes. So as of late, we have been seeing a return of students who haven't been to Triton since as early as I've seen, is like 2012 or 2011. But they've been reaching back out to us, them and get them back into that groove of the Triton life. And some of them are only like a few classes away from finishing. So we want to make sure that they at least achieve that goal as well. So I would like to turn everything over to Dorota, who will continue our presentation. And thank you guys.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. So Jeremy actually touched on this earlier. We are a fairly newly large department, so we do have 4 full-time advisors, and we are all new. We all started in May. We were trained during quarantine, so most of our training was remote. It's been a very interesting experience, a lot of learning, and we were also joined by part-time counselors, and also Jeremy and Alicia were the 2 part-time advisors that have been here for a few years now, and they have been a great resource as we are all kind of learning. So we have an advising structure that allows us to work with all of the students that attend Triton College credit programs, and without really going into too much detail as far as specific programs, just for the sake of time, we just wanted to kind of go over the different schools that we support. So we do have advisors that support the arts and sciences programs, advisors that support business and technology programs, and also advisors that support health careers and public service programs. Of course, we all work with any student that comes to us, whether it is a student that sets up an appointment with us, or a student that we assist during open registration. We all have to know how to support every student at Triton, regardless of their program. However, we do have advisors who specialize in certain programs, and they might be, attending program advisory meetings, and really having more of a close relationship with the department chairs and coordinators. In addition to supporting students through academic advising, we also engage in various activities on campus that have to do with student success and really improving the student experience. So we do have advisors working on student onboarding, which is the new student orientation. We have advisors who attend the academic senate committees as resource members to make sure that the advising department does have a little bit of input, or maybe can assist in answering questions from an advisor's perspective. We do have an advisor that works with the facilities engineering technology program, which is actually through it's a credit program through the continuing education department, so it does have its own, requirements and its own expertise that is required. We also have our representatives on the Guided Pathways Committee, so we are pretty involved on campus. We want to make sure that we are able to really provide that perspective in different areas of the college to make sure that, that the student experience is one of welcome and care and progress for the students so that we can help them meet their goals. And we are currently in the process of aligning our cohort management to guided pathways. So there might be some changes to come as we kind of tweak the different programs that the advisors support. We do have a cohort management model that we are working with currently. We all have a caseload assigned to us that is full-time students, first semester full-time students, and those students are assigned to us based on the schools that we support. So we might have a few changes coming up as guided pathways, become more and more implemented, I guess. So there might be some changes to come, and those changes will be really in support of the guided pathways cohort model. And what we want students to know. So these are conversations that we have repeatedly with different students, questions that do come up. And faculty might also hear some of these things from students as well. One of the things that we really try to focus on is creating a plan for students that is achievable and balanced so that they are able to be successful in their classes, in their educational journey here, in consideration with all of the other responsibilities that they have outside of school. Frequently, we'll have students, really determined to take on a full course load of classes, and take 4, 5, 6 classes. They are working full time, and maybe they have a family that they're also taking care of, or maybe, aging parents or children that they are taking care of at home. So we do need to have that conversation with them and, figure out what is a realistic schedule for them. It might not be, cheetah speed to graduation, but, maybe slow and steady, but making sure that the students are able to really get the most out of their experience and really learn and get really good grades so that when they do transfer to a university of their choice, they are able to take those credits with them and have a competitive GPA. Also, another thing that we hear from students is, I'm just here to do my gen eds. And it is important for us to explain to students that general education courses are not just general education courses. That is the student's opportunity to really customize their program to what they are interested in, to what they're studying, and to what is preferred or required by their transfer institution. So general education courses are very important. Also, we try to promote a transfer culture within academic advising. So we do academic planning with students. We do program exploration. We look at different transfer schools and transfer requirements to help students transition to their university of choice in a way that's as seamless as possible to them. And we do work with the Transfer Center very closely. We have regular meetings with the Transfer Center to make sure that we are on the same page when it comes to student advising. And we also want students to know that there is more to college than just taking classes. There are so many ways to get involved on campus through clubs, organizations, student government, and so forth. And there are some great resources for students. Transferology is a really good resource to help students find out what classes will transfer to their school of choice. Students are able to create a free account to Transferology and be able to access really most of the resources that we have access to. There isn't a huge difference between the advisor Transferology account and the student account. So that is something that we encourage students to create. It's a free account that is, that is a really great resource. Also, iTransfer is free, and this is where students can look up general education courses in state of Illinois schools, so other community colleges. This one requires a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of explanation, a little bit of training. It can be kind of tricky to navigate, but once the student learns how to navigate, I think this is also a really phenomenal resource to look at course equivalencies throughout the state. And if students have additional questions about transferring, we are very happy to answer those questions or refer to the Transfer Center. The Transfer Center has so many workshops and so many events for students, and also one-on-one transfer advising. So really, it's a great resource, and we do work together, like I said, to make sure that students are able to transfer as seamlessly as possible. And we are still available for appointments, even though everything is virtual. We are meeting with students through phone calls or through Zoom video calls. Students can schedule appointments through our advising website. The advisors are listed by schools and programs, so students know which advisor they need to schedule the appointment with. We also have virtual drop-in sessions that are available through Blackboard Collaborate. And throughout the semesters, we do have 2 sessions, Monday through Thursday, so a morning session and an evening session, and 1 morning session on Friday. And students have been taking advantage of Blackboard Collaborate. They have been coming in and either coming in for quick questions, some come in to get registered. So we've been able to work with students virtually since since the quarantine started. We can also be reached at advising@triton.edu. The inbox is monitored every single day. There's an advisor that monitors the inbox, and we make every effort to respond within the same business day. Sometimes we're able to respond to emails as they come in. So definitely, if your students have any questions, if they don't know which advisor they need to speak with, if they have any kind of question or concern, please refer them to advising@triton.edu, and we can definitely either take care of their concern through email, or we can direct them to scheduling an appointment with an academic advisor. All right, and that concludes our brief presentation. And does anybody have any questions?
Hi, it's Gretchen Reyes. I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Jermaine, you made a comment in the beginning about, reaching out to students when they're having problems and so forth. Do you guys run a report on that, or do you only reach out to students if there's a retention alert sent?
So students, we pretty much get that alert in our to-do list under retention. So that's when we typically reach out to students. Depending on the issue the student has within the classroom, we would get that from the instructor. So that's when we would actually reach out to said student. So it definitely falls under the retention alert.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great presentation, by the way. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dorota. Thank you, Jeremy, for again doing this wonderful presentation. We really appreciate your time. I know you mentioned guided pathways in your presentation, and that was, this is where advising and the important role of advising is really coming into picture. It's shedding more light, and people want to know more. So I really appreciate Dean agreeing to present and you guys agreeing to present, as we all want to learn more, right? It is really open doors for collaboration between student affairs, and your department and faculty. It didn't used to happen as much before, the conversations about guided pathways. So once again, we appreciate your coming. Yeah, we look forward to maybe having another session in spring. I mean, guided pathways, as you said, it's continuing the implementation planning. So, and we get a lot of questions about, we want to learn more about advising. We want to learn more how advising happens and how our students are helped. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for
All right, have a great day.
Hey, thank you for having us. Have a great day.